Hello and welcome to this week's Women's Football Chat. My name is Chris Gadsby. I'm here every Thursday at 6 p.m. bringing you the very latest from the third and fourth tiers of women's football here in England. That's the FA Women's National League, and this week it's the very first really proper summer episode of the Women's Football Chat. No games to talk about at all. But we do have a little bit of other news to go through. And, of course, we have the preliminary round draw of the summer knockout tournament. It's back! And it should be bigger and better than ever before. But before we get into that, which I know is what you're all eagerly anticipating, let's first go through the three really bits of news that we've got to cover this week. We're going to go in order that they were announced. We're going to start up north with Middlesbrough, who have now officially affiliated with Middlesbrough men's side. So they're now going to operate under the Middlesbrough FC umbrella. This is off the Middlesbrough website. Team originally founded in 1976. Will now operate under the Middlesbrough umbrella, wearing the club crest and forming a key part of our ambitions going forward. That's a new logo for Middlesbrough Women. It's now the same as the men. Ben Fisher, chairman of Middlesbrough Women in its previous guise, will continue his work in the new role of general manager of the women's, and they are welcoming Mick Mulhern as team manager. Mulhern led Sunderland to the top flight, has worked with talent such as Jill Scott, Steph Horton, Lucy Bronze, Beth Mead. Obviously, Middlesbrough finished 10th in Division 1 North last season, so only just stayed in the FA Women's National League. But that means that the squad will now train at Rockcliffe Park. Riverside is going to host selected games, which is great as well. So it looks all good for Middlesbrough. Apparently, it's been under discussion for a period of time, according to Chief Executive Neil Bassor. And now Middlesbrough believe the infrastructure is in place to move forward. So Middlesbrough will be hoping that they will be able to build very much on that. Have a better season next season. Maybe get themselves up into Tier 3. So moving from an affiliation, we're going to now go to some rule and regulation changes that have come in from the FA, which in my view, I don't really think is going to affect the league very much, if at all. The FA are introducing point deductions for teams across the grassroots game from the start of next season if their players or coaches commit repeated offences of serious misconduct. So these point deductions are applying to clubs at step 7 and below of the men's game. That's below Vanarama, North and South. But tier 3 and below in the women's pyramid, i.e. the FA Women's National League. And these are to clubs who commit cumulative incidents of serious misconduct, such as acts of discrimination, assault or attempted assault, physical contact or attempted physical contact against a match official. Deductions will range from 3 to 12 points depending on the number of breaches within 12 months of the team's first offence and severity of the cases. FA CEO Mark Bullingham said this is a significant step for grassroots football in England and clearly outlines our commitment to tackle incidents of serious misconduct. We frequently hear from grassroots participants that player behaviour is a growing issue and we're determined to change this. So from the start of the 23-24 season, players and coaches who repeatedly offend will hurt their team by losing points. Unacceptable behaviour towards other players and officials will not be tolerated. Now this is great in terms of obviously it should discourage players and officials from going after referees, because we see so many referees quitting the game because of abuse and all the rest of it like that. Now, my view on this, as I said, it's great. I don't believe it's going to affect the FA Women's National League very much, if at all, because I've now been around the game for getting on for, this will be my 7th season within women's football. I can't recall of an incident where players have been abusive and touching referees and all the rest of it. So I'm not saying there isn't one, but I don't think it's such a widespread issue where we're going to see points deductions in the FA Women's National League. There may be the odd one. I've not been to every single game. I haven't seen every single club. Maybe there are some clubs that have a slight issue with it. But I don't think... I would be surprised if we see points deductions because of this problem in the FA Women's National League. So it's something to keep in mind. It might just change some of the players' mentality slightly. But I'm not convinced, and again, if you know different, please do let me know, but I'm not convinced that it's going to be a huge problem in the FAWNL. They have put out the FA a sanction guidelines about this. So it's all about assaults, attempted assaults. So if there have been 2 occasions during a 12-month period, I'm not going to go through the entire guidelines for you because you're not going to want to not see that. But if there's 2 aggravated breaches, it's 3 points to 6 points. 3 aggravated breaches is 4 to 9, and 4 breaches in a 12-month period is 6 to 12 points. Obviously, the number of points will depend on the severity of the breaches. So just go through the relevant rules because that is the important bit. I'm obviously trying to read this as I'm talking to you. So it's if a participant brings the game into disrepute and uses any one or a combination of violent conduct, serious foul play, threatening, abusive, indecent or insulting words or behaviour. And then a breach of that rule, which is E 3.1. An aggravated breach is where it includes a reference, whether express or implied, to any one or more of the following: ethnic origin, colour, race, nationality, religion or belief, gender, gender reassignment, sexual orientation, or disability. And then the rule 3.4 sets out basis on which a club can be charged by 2 or more breaches committed by 2 or more people in any 12-month period, regardless of whether any such breach falls within subparagraph V4, the 3.4, the club itself would be liable to a sanction, etc. So, again, I don't think it's something that we're necessarily going to see in the FA Women's National League. It also points out that this is team specific, not club specific. So if the first team commit a breach and then the under-14s commit a breach, that doesn't make it 2 breaches. It's team, not club. I don't think it's something we're really going to see. If we do see it, then it highlights an issue and hopefully should make the game a bit safer for the referees, who I know so many are pulling out of refereeing because of the abuse. Right, moving on then. Final bit of news which came out not even an hour ago, and because it came out not even an hour ago, everyone rushing to the website is crashing it at the moment, and I can't read from the actual website, so I'm just going to read from the Twitter thread instead. Coventry United, of course, relegated from the Women's Championship last season. They're now in the Southern Premier Division, are kind of moving and rebranding under the name of Rugby Borough FC. So they are moving 15 miles from Coventry to Rugby. They say it's not a decision they have taken lightly. After our recent relegation, we have reflected upon how to move the club forward positively and reach our aim of promotion back into the Barclays Women's Championship. After training at Rugby Borough FC in periods during 21-22 and 22-23, it is clear that we share the same values and they have welcomed us with open arms. We will train and play matches at their 2.5 million 35-acre facility at Kilsby Lane, which is the perfect environment for our players to excel both on and off the pitch. And as I said, I can't read the full story on the website because it's crashed at the moment. So basically, it was a lot to do with the costs. The cost of training and playing matches at the Butts Park in Coventry was unsustainable. So that's the situation there. They are offering the chance for fans to ask questions. So we'll see what they can answer to do with that. But one thing to note in terms of this year's summer knockout, you will notice on the summer knockout, which is coming up shortly, that Coventry United are still down as Coventry United. Two reasons for this, particularly this week. Number one, they've announced the change but haven't yet made the change, i.e. if you look at Brighouse, they've already changed their social media handles, as have Coventry United, as have Gillingham. As have Crawley Wasps, as have Gillingham. Coventry United haven't yet. And also because this has been made in between me publishing the ball numbers yesterday and doing the draw, I decided that it would be too confusing to change all the ball numbers. Bear in mind that Coventry would go from ball number 21 as a C down to ball number 58. So moving 37 spots and changing the ball numbers of 37 teams would be incredibly confusing for people at such short notice, I thought, particularly when people have gone, oh, look out for ball number whatever in the upcoming draw. So those are the bits of news from the last 7 days. It's going to be a bit like this over summer, really, where I'm just going to drip feed the news as it comes through, but without the results and the fixtures to go on, then it's going to be a little bit shorter. Other bit of news, but isn't really covered by me. Of course, Serena Wiegman made her Lionesses World Cup announcement. A lot of those players started their footballing career, with teams that are currently in the FAWNL. So of course, it's not just all about where they are now. Don't forget where they started and the coaches that helped them get to the players that they are today. Right, summer knockout time kept you waiting long enough. We've got the preliminary round draw coming up. This is the draw that gets 72 teams down to 64. 8 ties are being drawn this week, so we can get down to 64 teams and then keep halving them all the way down to 2. Will Chesham United retain their crown that they won last year? Will Stourbridge, who were beaten in the final, go one better this year? Wolverhampton Wanderers are probably going to have a good showing again this year. They were ahead of Chesham in the semi-final until an hour and a half to go when Chesham took the lead. You really do need to keep voting right the way up to the death. You can change things up until the last moment. And Actonians, the other semi-final side as well. So without any further ado, let's get straight down to it. It is the preliminary round draw for the 2023 Summer Knockout. For those of you who weren't here last year as part of the Women's Football Chat, the Summer Knockout Tournament is something that I do just to keep a bit of interest going for the teams throughout the summer break before the new season kicks off again. We have had a thrilling 9 months of action on the pitch. Time now for a thrilling 2 months off it as well. The way that the draw works is all 72 teams in the third and fourth tiers of women's football here in England, that's the FA Women's National League, are in this pot. And today, for the preliminary round, 8 ties will be drawn as we get 72 teams down to 64. The voting then goes up on my Twitter page, and you can vote for your favourite team, whether it be the fact that they are your favourite team, the fact that they're playing a team you don't like, you like their badge, you like their kit, you like the ground, it's the localist team to you. Whatever it is, you can vote in each of the ties, and slowly but surely, week by week, the 72 teams are whittled down to just 2, and we will have our 2023 Summer Knockout Tournament winners. A reminder then of some of the ball numbers that you are looking out for in this preliminary round draw. Newly promoted sides: AFC Sudbury, number 3. Abingdon United, number 5. Chester Street Town, number 19. FC United of Manchester are number 26. And then Notts County, number 51. Sutton Coldfield Town, 66. Torquay United, 68. And Worthing, 71. Chesham United are ball number 18, the defending champions. Now, In the practice draw that I did, because it has been about a year since I've done these, both Cheshire United and Wolverhampton Wanderers came out of the pot. So there is no, I should make this clear as well, there is no exemptions in the opening rounds. There's no tier 3 comes in later. There's no regionalisation. It's anyone can play anyone. So, without further ado, let's get the Summer Knockout Tournament 2023 underway. 16 teams to be drawn today into 8 ties, and then they will go up for the public vote to see which of these sides can get into the first round proper. Let's get going. First team out of the hat is number 36. That's Leek Town. 36, Leek Town, the first team out of the pot. And Leek Town will take on number 72. 72 is York City. Leek Town against York City. Next out, number 37. 37 is Lincoln City. Lincoln City of Division 1 Midlands, the next team out. And Lincoln City will take on number 14. That's Cambridge United. 14, Cambridge United against Lincoln City. Next out is number 33. 33 is Keynsham Town. Keynsham Town, the next team out of the hat. A lot of teams in the 30s being drawn. And the next ball is number 15, our Welsh team, Cardiff City. Cardiff City out in the preliminary round, and they take on Keynsham Town, of course, the side they played on the pitch this season. Next, and out of the hat, number 70, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolverhampton Wanderers out of the pot again. Said they were drawn out in the practice draw. They've been drawn out again. And Wolves will take on number 9, Billericay Town. Billericay Town against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Tough opening round for Billericay, coming up against last season's runners-up. Halfway through then. Next is number 50. Number 50 is Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest out in the preliminary round draw. And how good would 51 for Notts County be here? No, it's 71. 71 is Worthing. Worthing out, and they will take on Nottingham Forest. It could be a tough opening tie for Nottingham Forest, that one. Three ties to go then. Number 41. 41 is Loughborough Lightning. Loughborough Lightning next out. And Loughborough will take on number 35. That's Leeds United. Leeds United will take on Loughborough Lightning in the preliminary round. Two ties left to go then. Number 28, Hashtag United. Hashtag United, number 28. Great season for them, getting promoted into the Southern Premier Division. And Hashtag United take on newly promoted number 3. That's AFC Sudbury. United against AFC Sudbury. One tie left. And this is number 65. That's Stourbridge, number 65. Stourbridge drawn out, and they will face number 10, Boldmere St Michael's. Boldmere St Michael's, two sides that swapped places last season, with Stourbridge getting promoted into the Northern Premier Division and Boldmere St Michael's getting relegated into Division 1 Midlands. They miss each other on the pitch, but they take each other on in the summer knockout tournament. A reminder then of these 8 ties to be played in the preliminary round. We have Leek Town taking on York City, Lincoln City against Cambridge United, Keynsham Town against Cardiff City, Wolverhampton Wanderers against Billericay Town, Nottingham Forest against Worthing, Loughborough Lightning against Leeds United, United against AFC Sudbury, and finally Stourbridge against Boldmere St Michael's. So these ties will be up on my social media, on my Twitter at Chris_Gadsby in a few moments' time. And those polls will be open for 5 days. Now that means that they will close towards the end of play on Tuesday. And then the 8 winners from these ties will go into the big 64 first round draw. All 64 teams coming out next Thursday. So if your team wasn't drawn today, make sure you're watching next week's show for the big 64 team draw. But that will do it for the preliminary round. Good luck to all 16 of those teams that have been drawn. Get voting for your favourites. As I said, the winners will be not only through and announced on my social media, but they will be in the first round draw this time next week. There we go then. Those are the 8 ties for the preliminary round of the 2023 Summer Knockout. They are going to be up on my social media in just a few moments' time. Get voting for your favourite side. Maybe there's a bit of tactical voting in there as well to try and knock out some of the big teams early on. First round draw next Thursday at 6 p.m. But for now, get voting to get your favourite sides from those preliminary round ties through into the first round proper. And that will just about do it for this week's Women's Football Chat. Thank you very much for joining me, watching and or listening as always. Of course, keep supporting your local women's football team. The trials are open for many teams as well. Some are invitation only. Some are open as well. So if you're interested, get down. And of course, if you're interested in getting more involved with your local women's football team, then drop them a message. They will always most likely be happy to have new volunteers and help. And of course, you may just get to see the games for free as well. Thank you very much for watching and or listening to this week's Women's Football Chat, and goodbye.